I received the message in the middle of work, a normal Tuesday. I was installing custom shelving for a client when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. No text, just a video file. My hands were dusty, my mind in work mode, but something about it made me step outside. I walked to the back of the property, took a breath, and hit play. I should have deleted it. It felt wrong from the start, but my gut told me to look, and gut instincts are rarely wrong. I tapped the video and let it play. What I saw will stay burned in my memory forever. Claire, my Claire, was sitting on the edge of a hotel bed, legs crossed, talking to someone out of frame. Then he walked into view, shirtless, smiling, like this was routine. She laughed, touched his chest, kissed him. The video cut off just as they fell back onto the bed, but it didn't need to go further. The truth hit hard and fast. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was familiarity. This was betrayal. I didn't react. Not at first. I closed the file, stared at the wall, and listened to the machines humming in the next room. My hands were still covered in sawdust, my lunch untouched. I sat there for nearly an hour, trying to process the storm that had just detonated inside me. Rage didn't come immediately. Grief did. A deep, sharp, silent grief that settled in my chest like a weight I couldn't lift. 10 years. 10 years of shared birthdays, anniversaries, road trips, late-night laughs on the couch, drowned by a stranger's smile and my wife's silence. That night, I didn't confront her. I couldn't. She came home like nothing had happened, kissed me on the cheek, asked what we should order for dinner. I watched her like a stranger. Every movement calculated, every smile now suspicious. I told her I wasn't hungry and went to the garage to finish up a project. I stayed there for hours, pacing, planning, fighting back the urge to scream. I knew I needed more. If I confronted her now, she'd deny it, twist it, make it about me. I needed truth. Undeniable, irreversible truth. The man's name was Keith. He didn't ask many questions, just listened and nodded as I explained the video. He agreed to take the job. No promises, just process. He'd follow her. Watch. Record. He said most cheaters give themselves away within 2 weeks. They get cocky, comfortable. They forget they're being watched. I gave him her schedule, her usual spots, the name of the hotel I recognized from the video background. And then I waited. Each day felt like a year. I went through the motions, work, shower, smile, sleep, but I was living on the edge of something dark. I watched her closer, logged times, noticed patterns, and I counted the lies. 1 week in, Keith called me. Short message. I've got something. We should meet. My stomach dropped. We met at a diner on the edge of town. He handed me a flash drive. Didn't say much. Just nodded and left. I sat there with my coffee, staring at the little piece of plastic like it held a bomb. And in many ways, it did. When I got home, I waited until she was in the shower, then plugged it into my laptop in the garage. There were photos, videos, date stamped. Clear as day. Different hotel. Same man. Different day. Same lies. The days that followed blurred into a quiet rage I wore like a second skin. She would laugh at something on her phone, show me a funny video, and I'd nod along, pretending to smile, all the while picturing her with him. The dinners she made tasted like ash. The couch where we watched movies felt like a theater of lies. I started noticing all the tiny gaps she'd tried to cover. The late nights she claimed were girls' nights that never came with photos. The unfamiliar cologne that clung to her coat when she hugged me. The scratches on her back she claimed came from the garden. It was all there, hiding in plain sight. Keith sent another update on a Wednesday. Nothing new, he said, but she was definitely seeing him again. Apparently, they'd met in parking lots, slipped into cheap motels off the highway. Careful, but not careful enough. The man was tall, tan, with the kind of smile that made people trust him too fast. I looked at him in the photos and felt no fear. Just disgust. Not just at him, but at her. I started preparing the house without her noticing. Rearranging important documents, removing my name from shared subscriptions, scanning legal papers. I made a list of everything that was mine and everything I could leave behind. I wasn't going to beg for fairness. I wasn't going to fight for furniture. I just wanted my life back. Clean. Mine. I even opened a new bank account, rerouted my business income. I knew the moment was close. I could feel it in her posture, in her voice. Like she was starting to pull away from me slowly, preparing her exit in case I ever found out. I think that's the part that gutted me most, knowing she was ready to walk without saying goodbye. that she was just going to slip out of our life like a thief. The night before everything ended, she fell asleep on the couch, curled up beside me like nothing was wrong. I watched her chest rise and fall, the peaceful rhythm of someone who thought she had fooled the world. I wondered if she dreamed of him, if she imagined their future together while lying in my arms. I didn't touch her. I didn't speak. That night, I barely slept. I rehearsed my words over and over, though I knew I wouldn't need many. The truth would speak for itself. The flash drive was loaded and ready. The bags were packed and in my truck. Every thread of the web she wove was about to unravel with a single, simple conversation. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to curse. I wanted silence. Shock. I wanted to see her realize what it feels like when the world you built on lies finally burns to ash in your hands. And the man you thought would never leave is already gone. The final hour was near, and I was calm, dangerously calm. It was time. The sun rose slowly that morning, unaware of the storm it was about to witness. The morning started like any other, and that was the point. Claire came downstairs in her robe, hair wrapped in a towel, humming to herself like a woman who had never lied in her life. She asked if I wanted coffee. I said no. My voice was steady, measured. I watched her closely, memorizing her movements. The way she swirled the spoon in her mug. The way she didn't look me in the eye. The way her phone buzzed twice, and she silenced it without checking. She was already dressed for her art workshop before I finished tying my boots. I waited until she was in the kitchen with her back to me. Then I placed the flash drive on the counter. It made a soft click as it hit the granite. She turned. Her face didn't change right away. She stared at it, then at me, then back at it again. Finally, something flickered in her eyes, recognition, maybe, or dread. But still, she said nothing. I didn't offer an explanation. I didn't give her a speech. I just met her gaze and said, "Watch it. Then pack." And I walked out the door. By the time I came home, the sun was setting. Her car was still in the driveway. I walked inside. The house smelled different, like panic, like perfume sprayed over rot. She was sitting at the kitchen table, the flash drive in front of her, her hands folded tightly. Her eyes were puffy. She had been crying. Good. But she didn't speak. She knew there was nothing left to say. I pointed to the duffel bag by the door. "That's yours. I booked you a room for 3 nights. After that, I don't care where you go." Her lower lip trembled, but I didn't flinch. "Leave your key. Now." She did. She stood slowly, walked to the counter, and placed it beside the knife block. For a moment, I thought she might throw herself into some desperate act, begging, sobbing, clawing for pity. But instead, she whispered my name like it still meant something. I turned away and walked into the other room. She left without another word. Over the following days, I scrubbed her out of my life with surgical precision. I deleted every photo, shut down the joint accounts, and contacted a lawyer to start the divorce. When she texted me from the hotel, I didn't reply. When she called from a new number, I blocked it. When her sister reached out asking if I was okay, I told her not to contact me again. I wasn't interested in being the victim in someone else's gossip. I wasn't going to relive the betrayal for the benefit of others. Claire tried to return once, 3 weeks later. She showed up at the house in the rain, knocking gently, standing on the porch like a ghost. I watched her through the peephole. Her face was pale, her shoulders small. The woman who once filled this house with noise and color now looked like she didn't belong in any room. I didn't open the door. I turned off the lights and let her fade.